last week. Yeah, it was just last week when I thought I was a pottery ninja. Now this is my most pottery ninja working session that I've ever had. Wow. You know when they say pride goes before a fall? You know that sink I made in my super duper fancy ninja throwing session? Well, that cracked. So I didn't have a sink after all. So I thought, well, I'm a pottery ninja. I'll just make myself another sink. In an attempt to keep this at a watchable length, I'll just say that this is attempt number 3. Yeah. Now attempt number 5 was looking good. Very good indeed. Right up until I wired the bloody thing off. Straight through the bottom. Yep. So by the time I got to attempt number 6, I was a little bit deflated, as you can probably imagine. And I was second guessing myself at every opportunity. So I thought I was finished. And then I thought, no, I'm going to put more clay in the bottom in case it's thin. And then this morning I thought, you know what, just make another one in case it is too thin and your attempt to save it hasn't worked. Like your attempts to save all the others. You bloomin' klutz. You have none, then 2 come along at once. This one has survived the night. Shut up. And this one I managed to throw this morning with a thicker bottom because the problem has been I've been too conscious of the sink bit. So I thought, no, I'm not going to be conscious of the sink bit when I'm throwing it. I'm just going to make sure it's right in the trimming. So I made sure I got a nice flat bottom with a nice smooth join. And then we'll sort the rest out when it's dry tomorrow. There they are, my lovely sinks. And if you thought it was just sinks I couldn't make in my period of downfall, I tried to make a plate. Yeah, it didn't work. Ended up making a saucer. It's all gone terribly, terribly wrong. I arrived. I put my box down on the table. I took the young man to go and get the heavy box. By the time I got back, someone had taken the box. And then I'm like, can you bring the box back, please? And as they were bringing back, they dropped it. Somebody dropped one of the pieces, and then I screamed really loudly. And I'm so embarrassed how loudly I screamed. It was really embarrassing. I screamed so loud, and it's a hotel. It's embarrassing. I couldn't help myself. It felt like my heart had broken. You'll notice I did some very nice pairings and combinations of the cereal bowls and the tri bowls. Yeah, so what we have here is 6 of the cereal bowls and only 9 of the tri bowls. Okay, let's not talk about the state of modern consumer products, and let's talk about the fact this is fairly brand new and it won't open a goddamn thing. And I wanted to use some tinned apple. And so, of course, my mother has Old School in her drawer. And it took me a while. I remembered how to do it. And, oh my gosh, it's hard. And this is how we used to open it all the time. Look how jagged that is. Ooh. See, we had a dangerous childhood. Look at that. Talk about old school. Right, let's get these sinks finished. So this one, I want a fancy bottom, and I've got to put the hole in. It's a bit of a tricky situation, that. It didn't go through the first time, so I just flip it over and carefully prod it in from the back. Whew. And then I have to check out the second one, because remember I added a layer of coloured slip and I was hoping it wouldn't crack. It hasn't cracked. So, fingers crossed, we might have 2. And for those of you following along with my little hair journey, it looks like the purple has held up so much better than the blue. Look, the blue's almost gone. Me doing a bit of posing. So these are the cocoa beans that have been dried in the sun, roasted and shelled. So this is pure cocoa right there. And we have a few jars of them. And the smell, yeah, it's a chocolatey smell. This episode of the Potscast was carefully assembled by me, Amanda, on the island of St. Lucia. Bye.